Hey, it's the Empire. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon for more videos. We taking over. Let's go, champ. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's go.
Madison Square Garden, that's the date. And obviously we got a lot of phone calls last night from a lot of heavyweights who smell a pound note and want to fight for the world heavyweight title. So we've got to go through the ones that are genuine, the ones that we think are credible, and go from there.
The substance which...
Hey, it's the Empire. Boxing Empire. Boxing for boxing. Now, man, crazy news, man. Eddie Hearn is getting interviewed again after this crazy debacle with Jarrel Miller testing positive, man. And this is by IFL TV, man. It's crazy. Now, you guys heard the quick thing, the quick little audio tape. It's like an 18-minute interview. I could have had the whole thing up here, but you guys will get bored watching audio instead of me commentating on what basically happened. So I'm going to give you the rundown of this whole interview and point out the important points, right? Now, Eddie Hearn talks about how Madison Square Garden date is still on. And he basically talks about how in this interview that's not going to change. He's going to have this fight with or without Jarrel Miller, and it's looking like it's without Jarrel Miller, man. Eddie Hearn talks about how he pays, Anthony Joshua pays a lot of money to have these tests taken. And that being said, if the guy pops dirty and he's paying a lot of money to make sure this guy's clean, and this guy happens to pop dirty, he's not going to fight the guy. Now, apparently, Eddie Hearn mentions the B sample. He says he's going to wait to see how that goes, but he says it's not looking good. And he says if it comes back dirty, we're going to have to move to the next opponent. Now, Eddie Hearn also says when he got calls last night, like at 3 a.m. after the news, a slew of heavyweights were calling him up trying to get this fight. And I'm guessing these are fighters based out of Brooklyn, baby. Because that's what he's going to fight. He's going to fight in Madison Square Garden. So you're going to need people who are going to sell in the Madison Square Garden. The biggest fight everyone's talking about is Anthony Joshua versus Luis King Kong Ortiz. That's the fight that should happen. That's the fight that Ortiz holds down in New York. He's always fighting there. It's always a huge crowd when Ortiz fights. And that's his perfect homecoming, our coming to America party for Anthony Joshua. Now, another fight I wouldn't mind is Konowski as well, the Polish fighter, undefeated fighter. That'd be a really good fight based on New York as well. There's a heavy Polish influence in New York as well, so that'd be really big. Maybe just because this last minute, maybe Arthur Spilka. But me personally, man, I prefer a Luis King Kong Ortiz or a Konowski. Now, everyone, I really want this Luis Ortiz fight. Fuck it. I want this Luis Ortiz fight, man. I want to see that. We're going to see this get made, man. I sort of want a full training camp from Luis Ortiz because this would be like a last-minute replacement. It's already in the middle of April, and June's right around the corner. After May is June. January, February, March, April, May, June. You dig? So it's right there. So, that being said, Luis Ortiz wouldn't have a full training camp. He'll have like a 2-week or 8-week training camp, or a little bit less than that, like a 6-week training camp, because it's already in the middle of April. So he wouldn't really have a full training camp. Usually you have 2 months of a training camp. On the high profile fights, maybe you might have more because you start training before the promotion even starts, before fight's even announced. But hopefully Luis Ortiz is staying in shape, But yeah, man, I really want to see Luis King Kong Ortiz. Actually, if Anthony Joshua was smart, he would try to fight him now, just because it's less time for him for Luis King Kong Ortiz to train. So this would actually be a really good move for Anthony Joshua to pull it now. Now, it's crazy, man, because Anthony Joshua could be taking a playbook from, Floyd Mayweather, even though this is accidental. What Floyd Mayweather would do is he would wait till the last minute. We all know he's fights in May, and he'll wait till like a month and a half until May to actually announce his opponent. So So his opponent wouldn't have, his opponent wouldn't have a full training camp because he wouldn't know if he's going to hit that lotto like everyone else. You know what I mean? Because everyone thought they're going to get that Money Mayweather check and the fight Floyd Mayweather. So Floyd Mayweather, what he would do is wait till the last minute to fight someone and then announce the opponent late. So his fighter wouldn't have a full training camp. Watch it. It happens all the time. It's crazy stuff. Something I noticed, something no one talks about, something that needs to be pointed out. So that being said, Anthony Joshua at this stage of his career and at this moment is he can implement that game plan, because this starting training camp, even if he starts today, it's still not a full training camp. It's still not a month and a half is not a full training camp, and that's leading up to the fight. Usually, a week or two before the fight, you start taking a break, you start taking it easy, and you start you wind it down. You don't wind it up all the way into fight night. So that being said, any Anthony Joshua's opponents right now would be at a clear disadvantage, because they didn't think they're going to be fighting the arguably one of the best heavyweights in the world. Anthony Joshua is certainly the most accomplished one because he has all the straps. So that being said, this is the biggest fight in anyone's career. So that being said, they're not going to have the mandatory preparation for Anthony Joshua. But man, this is a really big deal, man. I actually never been so excited for Jarrel Miller for a high-profile fighter opponent to fail a drug test. It blew my mind that Jarrel Miller did this, and this can open the floodgates for new possibilities, man. The possibilities are just out there. But yeah, man, let me know how you guys feel about it, man. I'll link the thing in the description, the article, or not the article, but it's like an interview. I'll link it in the description, man. You guys can watch it yourself. It's really cool stuff, man. Hearn looks flustered. He looks really upset about Jarrel Miller. He's talking about how it doesn't look bad, and how he was supposed to do. And Jarrel Miller talks so much trash. There's some things like if you're gonna get a fight, and it's cool, man. If you already get everything signed and there's so much money behind it, you can talk a lot of trash. That's great, but you better not mess up the fight, because now that Jarrel Miller popped dirty, he's probably never going to get this Anthony Joshua fight ever in his career, because he was talking about Anthony Joshua's, mom, or Jarrel Miller was talking about taking his mom on a date. I mean, he was going out there talking about Anthony Joshua. It was bad. I mean, he went out of his way to insult Anthony Joshua, push the guy. I mean, this guy went all out, and I think it was more than theatrics. I think he actually meant the stuff he did. You know what I mean? So Jarrel Miller, man, he messed the bag up, man. And I like Jarrel Miller too, man. I like the guy. I wanted him to get the bag, but apparently he couldn't do it the honest way. He must have froze. He froze and he got scared. And he's like, I need that extra boost. And apparently this drug boosts your stamina as well and your endurance. That's why, Jarrel Miller is able to go so far, so many rounds. You know what I mean? It's really suspect on the style to on how far he's able to go now, because his style is based off of throwing a lot of punches and overwhelming you. But now we know that he was on that stuff. We don't know how long he was on it now. We just don't know. And that being said, it makes me question Jarrel Miller's whole style, because if he doesn't have that endurance and he's that big and he's even slower and he can't throw as many punches around, it looks really bad, man. I might make a whole other video talking about how, the fighter we think of as Jarrel Miller is a fighter, his whole style could be a farce. It could be something help boosting him to make him fight that way, because everyone thought that was extremely unusual for such a big fighter to throw so many punches. I'm probably gonna make another video about that, because that's the real suspect. And now that he's popped, we're gonna actually see how good he really is. Basically, like an Alexander Povetkin. Povetkin was one way, but he was on that juice when he was that way. But as soon as he got off the juice, he turned into like a whole nother fighter. So let me know how you guys feel about it, though, man. Crazy news. I'll link it in the description. You guys can watch the interview yourself. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Peace. Geoboxing Empire. Peace.